First thing we're gonna go ahead and do Loctite primer. We'll add a little primer to the areas over here. Alright, recap. Chain module installed and torque. Hub bolt has been torqued to initially 100 foot-pounds, 100 Newton meters. Seal has been installed. Apply the primer on the housing on both sides. Align the seal with the grooves at the parting lines. And then after that steel insulation, we injected the sides here with the Loctite gasket sealant. So this is good to go. The vacuum pump cover, that's been installed. Try to use the tool to install it, but sometimes it just gets crooked, so I had to take it off back and use the tool to even it out, so it's perfectly even all around. So that's good to go. The camshaft chain module is installed. Everything's been torqued. So now we're going to go ahead and install the oil pan. Before we do that, we want to take one look around, make sure all the bolts look like they've been torqued, everything is in alignment. Remember, before we put the baffle on, we took a look of all those bolts. So we're going to rotate this over one more time. I'll make sure nothing's inside, and we'll take an inspection of what we can see. Then we'll put the oil pan on. All right, all pan's been installed. I just did the initial 8 to 10 Newton meters on the bolts. I'm not going to angle torque them because whoever the end user is of this engine, they may want to, this all pan specifically for a 4-wheel drive IX, they may want to convert it to a rear wheel drive with it. Just need to replace the pan and the baffle. So we'll leave the bolts and we'll put a note on the bolts are not torqued, so they can decide to do that later. Okay. All right, so I think we're all good for now. Next thing we'll probably go ahead and do and try to get this bolt torque and install the head. All right, thanks. All right, guys, time to torque the 360 degrees. I've got this crank holder. I locked it off on my other engine stand here. Mark the bolt and mark the hub there. This is gonna be fun. Almost 180. That's 180. We gotta go 180 more to go. Got 60 degrees more to go. You guys can see that started from here. We need to go back to there. A little bit more. All right. 360 degrees. Front bolt torque done. Hey guys, welcome back today. We're going to be continuing this build on this N54. Got the bottom half wrapped up. Hub's been torqued. So we're going to go ahead and install the head. Deck's been checked. It's flat, well within BMW specification. Do a final check on top here. Everything looks good. We're going to be installing a brand new original BMW gasket here. Got some brand new bolts. Going to be putting those in and torquing it. Then we got the head over here. We got a remanufactured head, N54 head. Head's been completely remanufactured. Valves have been lapped. Vacuum tested. Vacuum tested up to around 28 inches of vacuum, which is pretty damn good. New stem seals. So we're going to be installing this head here shortly. Okay, let's get to it. So we just got the head on and we snugged up all the bolts. So now we're going to go ahead and torque the head down. Alright, let's get to it. All bolts have been initially torqued to 13 Newton meters. The larger bolts 1 through 10, and then the outer bolts 11, 12, 13, 14. We've got 30 Newton meters. Now we're going to go ahead and mark the head for the angle torque. Okay. Alright, second stage torque has been done, 90 degrees. So you guys can see here, originally we started there and we're 90 degrees from that. You guys notice I had to torque additionally on the outer bolts for visually, because once you start to torque, the socket and the shank, this area here, because of how long it is, it starts to twist and it gives you a false reading on your torque wrench. So even though it's showing 90, I was about 15 or 20 degrees off depending, up to 15 to 30 degrees off. So I had to go back and torque it to look to make sure my visual shows 90 degrees from where I started. Okay, next is going to be 180 degrees. Alright, you guys can see here, because it's 180 degrees with the green markings, once you torque it, you'll go back to the same position. So I just wanted to have, I use a different color marker, just so after every one that I finished torque, I did a check mark and I put a dot inside the bolt. Visually gives me the indication the bolts have been torqued. Now each one of these, there's a twist in how long this is. So it's giving me a false 180. So after each one, visually I had to go another 10 or 15 degrees just to get it lined up back to where I started 180. Alright, so these outer ones are next. These are going to be worse because the twist on that tool is going to be pretty bad. I'm probably going to go another 30 or 40 degrees more beyond the 180 just to get it back to where I started. Okay. Okay, all bolts are torqued. You can see okay. Next thing, we're going to go ahead and start assemble the head. Get our camshafts on. Set our timing. Okay.